Okay, so the theme for today's class physically is based like kind of around hip strengthening and also some like hip flexibility, especially with all of us working on our computers so much and sitting down and hunching over. Your hips just like take the brunt of that. So we're going to work on stretching them at the beginning and then doing some more like active kind of hip leg postures as we go, and then ending it with some deep static stretching as well. And then I just feel, when I was kind of thinking about this class and even just like about hips in general, the hips are very tied to emotions. And I feel like day to day, especially since quarantine started, I noticed like the fluctuation of my emotions so much more than I did when I was like out and about all the time. I feel like I'm way more in touch with exactly how I'm feeling because we're either alone or with the same few people or interacting with people through a screen. So kind of just my mantra is like every morning when I wake up, that hoping that that morning holds a little bit more promise, and that in the evening reminding me myself that every sunset holds a little bit more peace. So that's kind of like every day waking up, even if you're in the same place and you're going to be staring at your computer all day, that there is still promise to the day and there is still so much opportunity. And then at the end of the day, letting those things go, letting the highs and lows of the day go, and granting yourself a little bit of peace. So that's kind of spiritually, I guess, or emotionally, kind of the theme for me for today's class. So with that said, we will get started. And so if you want to go ahead and press play on the music, if you're doing that, go ahead and hit start. And then after you do, just lie down on your mat. Maybe close your eyes if that feels good. And just begin to notice your breath. Notice the areas of your body that are touching the mat beneath you. And then giving yourself the next few moments to just take a quick mental scan. Notice any tension physically in the body, things that maybe feel tight or sore, maybe things that feel nice and relaxed on your mat. And then noticing where your mind is at. Do you feel grounded in this moment? Do you feel scattered? Has the day felt long? Did it speed by? Just giving yourself a moment to take in all the things that brought you here today to your mat. Inhaling all of it in. Exhaling, letting it go out your mouth. Knowing that you have the next hour here on your mat to just be, and that all of those things that you carry here with you will meet you at the end. On your next inhale, reaching your arms up and back, stretching long, a nice full body stretch. Maybe flex your toes back towards your face. And then you can begin to roll your wrists and your ankles. Get out any pops and cracks. Switching directions. And then on your next inhale, stretching nice and long. So spreading your fingers really wide, flexing your toes back to your face, engaging your glutes and engaging your quads. And on your exhale, letting it all go. 2 more times. Inhale, stretching nice and long, feeling the space between your spine, maybe on the side body, stretching a little bit longer. Exhale, melting into your mat. 1 more time. Inhale, biggest stretch yet. And on your exhale, bringing your arms back down by your sides and putting a bend into your knees so that the soles of your feet are on the ground. And you can walk your feet to the edge of your mat and then just begin to drop your knees from side to side. A windshield wiper motion. Moving at whatever pace feels good. Maybe linking it with your breath on the inhale, coming to the center. Exhale, pressing down to one side. And after your next full cycle, inhale. And on your exhale, hug those knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side, forward and back. And then on your next exhale, move into happy baby. So your soles of your feet are towards the ceiling. Maybe grasp the outside edge or your peace fingers around your big toes and pulling your knees in towards your armpits. Maybe straightening one leg and then the other, or rocking side to side. And then bringing your soles back down to the ground. Your knees are bent and your palms are placed, pressing into the earth. Lift that right leg up and cross that right ankle over the left leg. Perfect. Inhale here, and on your exhale, you're going to drop the sole of that right foot all the way to the ground. So the outside edge of the left leg is resting on the ground. The right foot is on the ground and the right knee is up towards the ceiling. Take that left hand and grasp your right ankle. And then on your next inhale, stretch that right arm up long behind you. A little bit of an opening on that right side body, and you should feel a nice stretch in that right hip. Maybe pressing that right knee away from you. Right. On your next inhale, bringing the arm back down by your side and lifting those legs back up to center. Uncross the right ankle, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Inhale here. And on your exhale, dropping the sole of that left foot all the way down to the ground. Yeah. Great. So the outside of that right leg is resting on the ground. The left knee is pointed up towards the sky, and then take that right hand and grasp the left ankle if that's comfortable. And then on your next inhale, you're going to reach that left arm up and back behind you. Maybe gently pressing that left knee away from you to get a nice stretch in the left hip. And on your inhale, coming back up to center, so bringing those legs back, the left hand comes back down to meet the ground. Uncross the left foot, and on your exhale, hug those knees into your chest one more time. Give yourself a hug. All right, bringing the soles of your feet to the width of the mat. Allow your knees to fall in towards each other. And then you can either keep the backs of your hands resting on the ground, palms towards the sky, or maybe bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Inhale, filling up your belly, filling up your lungs. Exhale, pressing it out your mouth, letting it go. Inhale, noticing you are breathing in. Exhale, noticing you are breathing out. Inhale, maybe breathing in a little sense of possibility for your practice today. Exhale, bringing a sense of peace to your body. Inhale, noticing the present moment. Exhale, dwelling in the present moment. Now I invite you, if you'd like, to set an intention for today's practice. something you'd like to work on, something you're grateful for, something that's brought you joy this week. And when you get that intention, breathe in nice and deep through your nose. Let your belly lift away from your spine, filling up your lungs all the way up to your shoulders. And when you get to the top, maybe sip in a little bit more air. Exhale, pressing it out your nose, maybe constricting the back of the throat slightly to kind of make an ocean breath. One more time, breathing in nice and deep, knowing that your breath is your guide as we move through this practice together. Exhale, letting it go. And when you get here, on your next inhale, bring those palms back down to the earth if they're on your body. And on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. But this time, bring your palms to the back of your thighs instead of your shins. So leave a little bit of space. Bring your shins parallel to the ground so that they're here. So from here, I just want you to rock back and forth slightly. So forward to back on your spine until you get all the way up to a boat posture. So you're going to end up bouncing on that tailbone. Your chest is lifted. Your shins can stay parallel to the earth. Or to modify, you can either bring your toes down to the ground or extend them up nice and tall. Either way works. So we're here in boat pose, gaze is lifted, chest is lifted, and then if you'd like, maybe extend those arms forward or up. Warming up our core, our center, waking our body up. We're gonna move between canoe and boat pose just a few times to really make sure our center is nice and warm. So on your inhale, stretching long, straightening that body, coming to a hover. Exhale, pulling the knees back towards the chest, boat pose. Two more just like that. Inhale, straightening nice and long, canoe pose. Exhale, lift, coming back up to center, really using your breath as the energy. So inhale, start your inhale as you extend. Exhale, pulling those knees back to your chest. All right, one more inhale here, grow nice and tall. Exhale, cross those ankles, reach up towards the sky, and then reach forward. All right, slowly roll yourself up to a nice seated position. And then when you get there, you're just gonna shift up and over those knees to tabletop. So you're here in tabletop, your wrists are below your shoulders and your knees are below your hips, nice neutral spine. And on your inhale, you're gonna tilt that pelvis towards the sky and your chest pulls down in cow posture. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, back arches up and back cat. And then move through this a few more times with your own breath. So on your inhale, coming to cow. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, arching the back and cat. And then after your next cat posture, finding a neutral spine, just begin to send your hips back towards your heels. So circling at one direction or the other, any kind of organic movement that feels good. Don't think about it too much, just kind of roll with it. All right, and then finding that neutral spine here in tabletop again, you're gonna tuck those back toes if they're not tucked. And on your inhale, lift those knees up slightly. Exhale, start from the hips, sending the hips up and back to downward dog. When you get there, maybe pedaling out your feet. Pressing one heel and then the other to the ground. All right, on your inhale, lift those heels up, come up on your tiptoes. Exhale, press the heels down towards the mat. Two more just like that. Inhale, lifting the heels up towards the sky. Exhale, pressing the heels down towards the mat. It's okay if they don't meet. One more time, inhale, lift those heels up. This time look forward, and on your exhale, you're just gonna tiptoe your way all the way up to your wrists. If you need to bend your knees, that's totally okay. And then when you get there, put a nice deep bend in the knees, and we're just gonna hang here and ragdoll for a moment. You can interlock opposite elbows, maybe rock side to side. All right, letting that go. Inhale, straighten those legs. Press the palms into the shins. Come to a halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Come to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. This time bending into the knees and rolling all the way up. Nice and slow. Letting your head be the last thing. When you get there, inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And then opening the palms down by your hips into mountain pose, maybe closing your eyes as we pause here in our first standing posture. Breathing in, remembering your intention. Exhale, breathing out a sense of gratitude for being here today. And then on your next inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky, palms come to meet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale, this time you're coming to a forward fold again. And if your feet are together, I just want you to walk them hip width apart. So you have a little bit of space, maybe 2 fists width in between your feet. And then bringing that right hand in between your feet, you're gonna put a bend into that right knee, straightening into the left leg, and on your inhale, reach that left arm up towards the sky. This is one of my favorite poses. I feel such a nice deep stretch through that outside left leg, all the way into the left hip. Trying not to sink into that right shoulder too much. Maybe coming up to your fingertips. All right, one more inhale here. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the center, putting a bend into that left knee. We're gonna go to the opposite side. So inhale, straightening that right leg, right arm reaches towards the sky. Maybe your gaze looks up towards that top hand if it's comfortable. All right, one more inhale. On your exhale, bringing that right hand down. Inhale, straightening the legs, coming to a flat back. Exhale, you're gonna place the palms on the mat and step your way back to high plank. You're gonna hold here just for 2 breaths. To modify, you can always drop your knees down to the mat. And then if you'd like to flow through, again, you have the option to drop your knees. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, coming to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck in those back toes, lift the hips up and back to downward dog. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale fully. All right, on your inhale, reaching that right leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, pull that knee towards the chest, shifting forward in plank, that knee's hovering. Inhale, stretch the right leg up and back. Exhale again, pulling the knee towards the nose, this time stepping that foot up between the palms. So you're here in a low lunge. On your inhale, coming up to high crescent lunge, so that back heel's lifted. Maybe scoot those toes back so there's nice strong energy shooting up that back heel. Gaze is lifted. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, cycle that back foot down, opening to warrior 2. Pausing here for a moment. That front knee is directly over that front ankle. Maybe pressing that front right knee a little bit back and out towards those right pinky toes. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bring the right elbow to the right thigh or inside the right foot, reaching that left arm up towards the sky. Extended side angle. Inhale here. On your exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. Cycle up on those back toes. And then inhale, stretch the right arm towards the sky in a twist. All right, exhale, bringing that right hand down to frame the front foot. Step the right foot back, and you have the option to flow through or to meet in downward dog. So inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, inhale, reach that left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pulling the knee towards the nose, shifting forward in plank. Inhale, stretch the left leg back. Exhale, again, pulling it forward towards your nose, this time stepping that foot up between those hands. Maybe scooting those back toes back. And on your inhale, reaching those arms up towards the sky, high crescent lunge. All right, again, energy shooting out that back leg. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, cycling those back heels, that back heel down, opening to warrior two. Really grounding through that nice side edge of the back foot. Hips directly below the shoulders. Shoulders pulling down away from the ears. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bring that left elbow to the left thigh or inside the left foot. Reach that right arm up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze lifts. Inhale here. On your exhale, bringing the right hand down, cycling up on those back toes. Inhale, stretch the left arm up towards the sky in a twist. On your next exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat, stepping that left foot back, and you have the option to flow through or meet in downward dog. We're gonna hold here for a few breaths, so if you'd like to take a child's pose, give yourself a break, maybe bring those arms back towards the hips, or if you'd like to build a little heat in downward dog, you have the next 3 breaths to do one of your choosing. Reconnecting with the breath, letting go of that last flow. We're gonna move through that whole sequence one more time, and we're gonna add a few things to it as we go. So you know exactly where you're going. This time with a few options to modify. So let go of whatever happened in the first flow, knowing that you have a new opportunity and a new sense of possibility in this next flow. So when you're ready, meeting in downward dog. And on your inhale, reaching that right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pulling that knee to the nose, shifting forward in high plank. Inhale, stretching that right leg back. This time on your exhale, you're just gonna put a bend in that knee, opening into that hip slightly. If it's comfortable, so you're still in downward dog, that right knee is bent up behind you, your shoulders are staying nice and square, equal weight in both palms. On your next inhale, straighten that right leg. Exhale, pull it in towards your nose and step that leg up. So you're in this low lunge here. Inhale, stretch those arms up towards the sky. High crescent lunge. Inhale, grow nice and long. Exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Inhale here. And on your exhale, you're gonna come to a twist. So bringing that left elbow outside that right thigh. All right, inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, opening to warrior two. There we go, Gabby getting home. All right, inhale, lift those shoulders up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back if it's comfortable, and just stretch them down, bringing the palms together to meet. So almost bringing those wrists all the way together, stretching nice and long, rolling those shoulders down and back. All right, on your inhale, releasing that, shift forward. Exhale, we're going back to that extended side angle. So bringing the right elbow to the right thigh or inside the right foot. Left arm reaches towards the sky. Maybe stretching that left arm up and over your head, maybe gazing underneath that left arm. Inhale here. On your exhale, circling that left hand all the way back and around, coming up on those back toes. Inhale, stretch that right arm up in a twist. All right, so from here, we're gonna make our way back to side plank. So we're gonna go to that knife side edge of that left foot, arm is still lifted, and then you can just slowly scoot that right foot all the way back to meet the left. To modify, you can drop that left knee and extend the right leg out long. Both are equally as good, really lifting through the hips. All right, and if you are in the full version of side plank, go ahead and drop that bottom left knee if you haven't already. And then on your next exhale, stretch that right arm up and over, a nice long side stretch, all the way from that right foot through those right fingertips. Maybe gazing underneath that right arm or down towards the left hand, whatever's comfortable. All right, inhale, reach that right arm back up towards the sky. You're gonna put weight into that extended leg and bring the left one back to meet it. Close that right arm down so that you're in a high plank. And then we'll meet in downward dog. So if you'd like to flow through, on your exhale, you'll lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, doing that whole sequence on the left side, and then we'll take a quick break in child's pose in between our two flow sequences. So inhale, reach that left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pull the knee to the nose, shifting forward in high plank. Inhale, back to downward dog, stretching that left leg up, and on your exhale, putting a bend in that knee. Again, really keeping those shoulders nice and square, nice and grounded. Yep, great adjustments, both of you. Fingers are spread nice and wide, actively pressing into the mat. On your next inhale, straightening through that leg. Exhale, pulling the knee forward to high lunge. All right, on your next inhale, lifting up, stretching those arms towards the sky. Inhale, bring the hands to heart center. On your exhale, moving into the twist, bringing that right elbow outside the left thigh. All right, inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, cycling that back foot down, opening to warrior two. Inhale, lifting those shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, bringing the palms back to meet, maybe interlacing the hands behind the back if that's comfortable. If not, you can just stay in warrior two. Pulling those shoulders down and back. But making sure not to stretch that chest forward as you do so. So keeping that chest nice and tucked in, your core is engaged. Isolating just the shoulders in this stretch. All right, releasing those arms back up on your inhale and shifting forward. Exhale, moving to side angle. Elbow comes to the thigh or inside the left foot. Right arm lifts towards the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, maybe stretch that arm up and over your head. Maybe gazing underneath that right arm. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky and down towards the mat as you cycle up on those back toes. And on your inhale, stretching the left arm up towards the sky in a twist. All right, so you know where you're going this time. We're moving back to that side plank. So moving on to the nice side edge of that right foot, you're gonna slowly scoot that left leg back to meet the right. Again, your feet can stack, or you can always drop that right knee down to the mat. As we hold here in side plank, just for 2 breaths. All right, if that leg is lifted, dropping the right knee down. Inhale, stretching nice and tall. Exhale, that left arm goes up and over your head. Really nice side stretch from that left foot all the way through the left fingertips. You can either gaze under that arm towards the ceiling or down towards that right hand for balance. All right, bringing that arm back up, you're gonna close that left arm down, step that right foot back to high plank, and we'll meet in downward dog. So inhale, shift forward, exhale, lower halfway, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward dog. When you get there, putting a bend into the knees, dropping the knees to the width of the mat, bringing your big toes together, stretching forward in child's pose. If your wrists and shoulders could use a little break, maybe bringing those arms back by the hips, letting the back of the wrists rest on the mat. Allowing the shoulders to roll forward. Taking a nice big breath in your nose. Your belly raises away from your spine, your lungs fill. Exhale, letting it go out of your mouth. Emptying your lungs first, and then pulling your belly in as you empty all the air out. Inhaling through your nose. On your exhale, finding your way to downward dog. We're gonna move through one more hip focused flow together on the right and then on the left. And then we'll move into more static cool down flow and stretching. So on your inhale, stretch that right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, put a bend in that knee. We've been here once before. Remembering any adjustments you made the last time. So bring those shoulders nice and square, weight equally in both palms. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, pull the knee to chest, stepping forward. All right, on your inhale, you're gonna come back up to that high crescent lunge. Last time in this pose on the right. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, you're gonna pull those elbows down and back in cactus arms. Your gaze and your chest lift slightly, pulling those shoulder blades together. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. You're just gonna straighten through that leg and rotate open. So nice and natural. You're here facing the side, you're long ways on your mat. You're gonna scoot your feet in slightly. So just bring your heels in and your toes out. Inhale, stretch those arms up. Exhale, you're gonna put a bend into the knees, coming to goddess pose. So finding those same arms we did before, elbows point down towards the hips, shoulder blades contracting, maybe spreading your fingers nice and wide. And then your knees are tracking outwards on that 45-degree angle over your toes. Really great strengthening posture, maybe tucking through that pelvis slightly. All right, inhale, straighten through those legs, and then tuck. You're gonna switch the orientation of your feet. So your toes are gonna come in pigeon-toed now, and your heels are slightly out. And then on your exhale, coming to a wide forward fold. When you get there, inhale, lift halfway, coming to a flat back. And then exhale, letting it go. You can keep your palms on the ground, maybe grab peace fingers around your big toes or the outside of your ankles. On your next inhale, you're gonna come sit a flat back, and you can keep your fingertips here on the mat if that's comfortable, or you can bring your hands to heart center. On your exhale, you're gonna bend into that left knee. So if you have your fingers on the mat, you're just gonna shift your way all the way down and flex those right toes towards you. You have a bend in the left knee. If you're on the opposite side, it's all good. We're gonna go the other way as well. Inhale here. On your exhale, you're gonna walk yourself up and over to the other side. So putting a bend in that right knee, flexing the left toes back towards your face. When you get here, maybe stretching those right fingertips out on a diagonal in front of you, maybe lifting that left arm up to the sky. All right, closing that left hand down. On your inhale, you're just gonna walk yourself back to center, coming back to that wide forward fold with a flat back. Inhale here, exhale, releasing. All right, on your inhale, you're gonna come back to that flat back, this time pressing the right palm into the ground, just centered beneath your face, and on your inhale, stretching that left arm up towards the sky. So opening in the twist, keeping your hips nice and square, so don't sink too far into one or the other. All right, on an inhale, coming back to that flat back, maybe bringing your hands to heart center. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat. Right arm lifts towards the sky in a twist. All right, on an inhale, that right arm closes back down to center. We're gonna walk ourselves back forward so that right leg is forward in that high lunge. Frame the front foot. Inhale here. On your exhale, step that right foot back to meet the left, and you have the option to flow through. So inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Maybe pedaling at your feet. Taking a nice long cleansing breath here. All right, doing that whole sequence on the left side. On your inhale, stretch that left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, put a bend into that left knee. All right, inhale, straightening that left leg. Exhale, pull the knee towards the nose, stepping up to the high lunge. On your inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. High crescent lunge. Last high crescent lunge of the class. Maybe taking a moment to notice any differences of how this felt at the beginning. All right, inhale here. Exhale, bringing your arms to cactus, bending those elbows down towards your hips. Palms spread nice and wide, gaze is lifted. Inhale, stretching the arms back up. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center and just rotating open on your mat. So you should be facing the opposite way than you were the last time. And then you're gonna scoot your feet in slightly again. Remember, bringing those heels in, toes facing out. Inhale, stretch your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, coming to goddess pose. Arms coming to cactus. Again, elbows pulling down towards the hips. Nice, tight pull between those shoulder blades. Lifting that gaze. Inhale, growing a little taller. Exhale, maybe bending a little deeper. Last time in this pose. All right, inhale, stretching up nice and tall. Rotating those feet so that the toes are in, heels are out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming to a flat back here in your wide forward fold. Exhale, release. On your next inhale, coming to that flat back, and then on your exhale, putting a bend in that right knee, shifting your weight over into standasana, flexing those left toes back towards your face. All right, inhale, lifting up, walking yourself over to the left side. On your exhale, flexing those right toes back. If you took the modification last time, maybe trying it here, extending those left fingertips out on the ground, right arm lifts towards the sky. One side may feel different than the other. All right, closing that right hand down. Inhale, walking yourself back to that wide forward fold. Exhale, releasing. When you're inhale, coming to a flat back, your left hand is going to find center just below your face. Inhale, reaching that right arm open towards the sky. All right, inhale, bringing both hands to heart center to meet in a flat back. Exhale, bring that right arm down to the ground. Left arm lifts towards the sky. All right, closing that left hand down. You're gonna walk yourself all the way back over so you find that nice high lunge. Exhale, stepping that left foot back to meet the right, and we'll meet in downward dog. All right, one more time on the right. Inhale, stretch that right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pulling the knee to the nose, stepping forward in between those palms. When you get there, dropping the back knee and releasing those back toes. So you're here in a low lunge. Inhale, lift that chest, lift the gaze, come up on your fingertips. Exhale, send the hips back, flex the toes forward in a runner's lunge. You can keep that chest nice and broad. We're gonna move through that a few times with our breath. So inhale, bending into that front knee, coming up on the fingertips, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze. Exhale, sending the hips back, straightening the front leg, front toes flex. Moving through that a few times at your own pace. All right, and next time you find that high lunge, pausing there, and then you're gonna walk the left toes over towards the left wrist. So the left foot's behind the left wrist, and then you're gonna drop that right knee down to the ground. We're moving into pigeon pose, so keeping that left leg stretched out behind the hip. You can stay here, or if it's comfortable, maybe come down to your elbows, or stretch those arms out in front of you for sleeping pigeon. We're gonna pause here, hold here for about 10 breaths. So if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always roll over to your back and take a figure four. We're just really going for a nice deep stretch in that right hip. So every time you're inhaling, breathing actively into any tension that you hold there. And on your exhale, seeing if you can release just the tiniest bit. Seeing if maybe you can find a sense of peace in this pose. It's one of the most uncomfortable ones, I know. And on your next inhale, coming back up to your elbows and then up to your hands if you took a modification. From here, you're just gonna tuck in those back toes And stretch that right leg back to meet the left. If you'd like to take one more flow, you have the option to. Otherwise, we'll just shift our hips up and back to downward dog. All right, on your inhale, stretching that left leg up one more time. Exhale, pulling the knee towards the nose, stepping that left foot up between the hands, dropping that back knee and releasing the back toes when you get there. You're gonna move through that same exercise that we did on the right. So on your inhale, pressing into that front left hip, your gaze lifts. Exhale, sending the hips back, straightening the front left leg, flexing the toes back towards your face. Again, moving through this at your own pace. With your own breath, maybe seeing if you can slow your breath down a little bit. All right, when you find that lunge, you're gonna walk that left foot over behind the right wrist, dropping that left knee down behind the left wrist. Again, making sure that right leg's coming directly out of the right hip, and then finding your version of pigeon. So either staying up, coming down to your elbows, or stretching out nice and long. Again, we'll hold here for about 10 breaths, so seeing if you can find some stillness. Actively channeling your breath into that left hip. And on your exhales, maybe just releasing the tiniest bit of tightness. One more full cycle of breath here. All right, and on your next inhale, coming back up to your hands if you move down to your elbows. And then when you get there, you're just gonna shift your weight into that left hip, swing that right leg around, and stretch your feet out in front of you. So you're sitting here nice and tall. Make sure you're sitting up on your sits bones. If you need to adjust slightly, that's okay. Inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, swing those fingertips down, and then bring the palms of your hands just next to your hips. So this is a really foundational pose, but it's super important. So use the energy through your palms to really lift your spine up. So you're actively lifting, growing nice and tall, but your shoulders are still pulling down and away from your ears. Inhale here, and then on your exhale, tuck that chin to your chest. Flexing the toes back towards your face. Making sure that as you bend that chin down, that you're not allowing your back to curl with it, but you're still sitting up nice and tall. It's just your chin. All right, on your next inhale, releasing that neck, walking the hands forward to forward fold. Inhale, maybe lifting your chest, lifting your gaze to a flat back. Exhale, maybe bending a little deeper. On your next exhale, slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time, letting your head be the last thing to come up. And then when you get there, pulling that knee in towards the chest. You can interlock the fingers around the shin. We're gonna move into a seated twist. So if this is uncomfortable, you can always cross that right leg over outside the thigh if that helps you feel more stable. So on your inhale, reach that left arm up. The right arm is gonna swing back behind the right hip. And then on your exhale, bring the left elbow outside that right thigh. Aiming to sit up nice and tall. Knowing it's not about how far your gaze gets behind you or even how deep that you twist. On your inhale, maybe growing a little bit taller. Exhale, maybe twisting a little bit more. All right, on your inhale, releasing that twist, coming back to center, uncrossing the leg and stretching it out long, and then pulling that left knee in. Again, you can stay like this, or maybe cross that left foot over, whatever helps you feel more stable. On your inhale, reach that right arm up, left arm swings back behind the left hip, helping you sit up nice and tall. Exhale, right elbow comes out left leg. You can either keep your gaze nice and neutral or maybe gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale, maybe sitting up just a little bit taller. All right, on your inhale, coming back to center, uncrossing the legs, and then I just want you to come to this comfortable cross-leg position. So whatever that feels like for you, if it's comfortable to sit like this, or if it's more comfortable to sit on your shins, either is as good. We're gonna go through a quick breathing exercise called alternate nostril breathing. As we move our way into Shavasana, it's a really great way to just decompress a little bit from the day, to focus in on something, especially on your breath, and to help clear your mind a little bit as we move into our most important pose. So if you're not familiar with it, I'll explain it to you. And if you already know what it is, feel free to start whenever you like. But what you'll do is you'll kind of take this like alien-like pose. So your pointer finger and middle finger together, if that's comfortable, and then your fourth finger and pinky finger together. And you'll bring those two fingers in the center, in between your brows. So find a comfortable point for you to rest them on, and then you'll bring your fingertips on either side of your nostrils. So don't close them yet. But what we'll do is we'll alternate breathing through one nostril or the other. If you have any like blockages or a really stuffy nose, you can just kind of ignore this part and just focus on breathing normally. But if you'd like to try it, on your inhale, close the left nostril. So use your fingers to actively close the left nostril. Breathe in through that right nostril. On your exhale, you're going to close the right nostril and open the left. Breathe out that left nostril. Inhale, stay where you are. Breathe in through the left. Exhale, closing the left, breathing out the right. I'll go through that again with you. Inhale, staying where you are, breathing in through the right. Closing the right nostril. On your exhale, breathing out through the left. Inhale, breathing in through the left side. Closing the left nostril. Exhale, breathing out the right. Finding a few more breaths at your own pace. This exercise is so good for calming your nervous system, as well as helping create balance. So yoga is all about balance. As you know, what we do on the right posture-wise, we do on the left. And so much of our brain and the way we're made up, as many of you know, we have a right side of our brain and we have a left side of our brain. And a lot of times one of those is more dominant. So it's the same with your nostrils. And so it's really great exercise to do, even if you do it a few minutes before you go to bed, if you're having a hard time falling asleep, to help calm your mind and kind of recenter that balance within yourself. Doing a few more of these at your own pace. And then after your next one, bringing both your wrists to the tops of your knees, keeping your eyes closed. Breathe in through the nose. Feel what it feels like now to breathe in through both. Feeling that nice rush of fresh oxygen in. All right, and when you're ready, you're just gonna bring those knees together, the soles of your feet to meet the mat, and then bring those palms behind the thighs, and you're just gonna cat arch your way all the way down to the mat. When you get there, walking your feet to the outside edge and just beginning to drop your knees from side to side in a windshield wiper motion. And then when you're ready, extending your legs out in front of you, bringing your arms long by your sides, the backs of your wrists to the mat, palms facing the sky, in a gesture of receiving. Maybe on your next inhale, scrunching your face and your toes and your fingers. Exhale, letting it all go. Melting into the mat, allowing your toes to roll out, the space between your eyebrows to unfurl. Maybe swallowing and then relaxing your jaw. As we move into the most important part of our practice, Shavasana. Knowing that you have these next few minutes to melt into the mat beneath you, to allow your breath to return to its natural pace. Noticing any thoughts that may arise without any judgment, and then letting them pass. Giving yourself these next few minutes to just be. Noticing your breath, flowing in, nourishing your body. Exhale, letting it go. And maybe bringing some gentle movement to your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, putting a bend into your knees and rolling to a comfortable side. In your own time, keeping your eyes closed. Maybe using your arm as a pillow. And again, just sharing the quote that I shared with you a little bit at the beginning, that may every sunrise hold more promise and every sunset hold more peace. knowing that this full, beautiful day you just lived has come almost to a close. Giving yourself a little bit of peace before you find your way to bed, knowing that when you wake up tomorrow morning, it's a new day full of promise. So breathing that in. On your exhale, using the strength of your arms, come to a seated position. You can keep your eyes closed. Inhale. When you get there, reaching your arms up towards the sky, bringing the palms to touch. On your exhale, finding your thumbs against your third eye center, gratitude pose. I'm grateful for all of you beautiful souls sharing yoga with me tonight. Thank you for being here virtually on my computer. And I'm grateful for this wonderful technology that allows us to connect in such a special way. So pulling that gratitude for this practice and for this day down to my heart center and close with the light and love in me honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste.